The Debater Season 2 has approached with style, confidence, and excellent debating skills of the contestants from all over Vietnam. A debating game show in English, The Debaters has attracted hundreds of candidates in the casting round. Of over 300 contestants, only 42 made it to the tournament round. They had to fight in so many fiery debates to become the top 12 in the final rounds of the Debaters Season 2.
Firstly, it's a huge honor because these are some of the best debaters in Vietnam, especially debating in English as a second language. So there is a lot of pressure, but I've really enjoyed the experience of just listening to the students and how they've kind of approached the motions. But also, I've loved the fact that I've been able to see the development of the teams as well.
7 debates in the preliminary round, 4 debates in the quarterfinals, with so many difficult motions, yet our contestants never resigned. 2 debates in the semifinals to find out the strongest warriors of the Debaters 2021. And now, the grand finale is on. The Debaters Warriors have made the journey more exciting and proud. The next generation of Vietnam fueled with confidence and courage and ready to conquer the big, big world ahead of us.
The Debaters! What a journey it has been. And yet, tonight, yes, tonight, we will have the champion of the Debaters Season 2. Welcome back to the Debaters Season 2, a debate game show for high school students here in Vietnam, produced and broadcasted by VTV, National Educational Channel of Vietnam, and British University, Vietnam. I'm your host, Dustin Chevier. So far, we've had 11 intense, ferocious, controversial, emotional highs and lows. The journey of the Debaters is coming to an end tonight. The team's extraordinary with their confidence, their articulate way of speaking English. It is coming to an end tonight in the grand finale. And yet, we can't have a debate without emotion. So please, let me introduce the motion for tonight. That we regret the glorification of youth. This debate topic, we have 2 trains of thought. One train of thought, youthfulness. You know, you only live once, YOLO, okay? Go party, experience life, travel, don't think about the future. However, the other train of thought is, you know, our young generation, our youthfulness, that's our foundation for the future. Should we be focusing maybe on a career path rather than just partying and hanging out and just enjoying ourselves and not really thinking about the future? We are going to be discussing this with the students, and I think these 2 teams right now are the best of the best, and they're going to perform with expectations higher than you can possibly manage. And hopefully they are ready, because I'm excited, the audience is excited, the judges are excited. Can we give a big round of applause for the contestants?
The champion, a team which debates in style, with such professionalism, articulation in English, and smooth teamwork. Nguyễn Diệu Anh, a girl who is responsible for setting up the case and building the foundation for the debates. Phan Lê Thái An, a strong rebutter with perfectly high-speed English who can always lead the game. Nguyễn Minh Nam, a grounded third speaker who concludes and ends the game right spot on. With such amazing teamwork, the champions also get another ticket straight to the grand finale in admiration of the viewers, judges, and other contestants.
One of the things that I really admire them and I learn from them a lot is that they never give up. No matter what happened in any kinds of situation, they never give up. So it's always open chance for them to be the winner of these competitions.
Fist bump! THX, real stylish gentlemen who have conquered the audience's hearts with the emotions they bring out at the debaters. Thành Minh, the first speaker with a calm and collected manner and a perfect British accent. Lê Nhật Huy, a man from Nghệ An province who has won the hearts of the viewers through courteous sincerity. Đàm Minh Khôi, with such gentle style, yet sharp and extremely sharp in all of his argumentations. They are as straight as arrows, and yes, straight to the grand finale, astonished all of the audience, judges, and other contestants at the debaters.
Me and my mentors really proud of them because of their progressions, because of their willingness to study, to learn, to change themselves. And I hope the best for both teams in the final debate of the debater.
Support THX!
Woo!
Yay!
How will they shine in the final debate of the debaters season 2? Let's meet them right away.
So to my right, a very elegant, well-behaved, confident, articulate, English beyond belief team, the proposition team the champions. That suits them so well because right now they are in the finals. So please welcome Nguyễn Diệu An, Phan Lê Thái An, Nguyễn Minh Nam, the opposition team, the team of all boys, the well-dressed, suit-wearing, the confidence that radiates through their speaking. THX. Audience, I want to hear some applause. Please welcome Đỗ Lê Khánh Minh, Lê Nhật Huy, Đàm Minh Khôi. You are here. You are in the finals. You're the best of the best. And I got to ask you, how are you guys feeling? Proposition team, the champions.
Well, personally, I'm feeling fine, but my teammate not so much. They're feeling kind of nervous. No matter what the outcome is, I wish for us to have a good match.
Opposition team, how are you guys feeling?
Fairly nervous, but all in all, decent.
But their team name is the champions, so if they win, I think it suits them quite well.
Yeah, but if we win, then it's going to confuse everyone. When you started with like the champion is...
Yes, absolutely. So Khôi, thank you so much because you guys, after this, you may have to change your team name if you don't win. It's going to be an issue. So you guys, thank you so much. Again, so proud of you. And audience, please give them another round of applause. Thank you so much. So you guys, please return back to your seats. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you. And we can't have a debate without our lovely and wonderful judges. Hugh, let's start with you. You always have a lot to say. Please share us your thoughts, your wisdom. I want to hear what you have to say.
As I often say to all the contestants of the debaters, this is a competition, but it is also an experience of your youth. Whoever wins tonight or whoever does not win tonight, I think the key importance here is what you take from this competition and what you do with it from today onwards. I think that matters most. So I think everyone can be the champion if you take all the lessons you learn with this experience and you do something in your daily life. And you can make a change in your future. In that way, your youth is glorified no matter you win or lose today. So I think just enjoy the experience and give us the best debate of the whole season, please.
Okay, no pressure. Stuart, with your three-piece suit tonight, which looking sharp, my friend.
Thank you for noticing. Although I didn't go out with the bow tie and tuxedo like Hero, so I think he's trumped me on this one. I think, although there are only two teams here today, we can't kind of overlook all the incredible teams that we've seen so far on the show this year. So for this particular round or this particular final show, I'm really looking forward to seeing what both of the teams bring today. I think it's a slightly tricky motion. I'm really interested to see how they kind of dive into that and what they can do. But I myself am just proud of all of the teams and all they've achieved so far, and I just really look forward to a fantastic spectacle at the end.
Yeah, thank you, Stuart. And Uhing.
I would like, first of all, to congratulate both teams and your mentor and mentor assistant for bringing you here today. And either win or lose in this particular round, I think making this far has been a very, very big success to each one of you and to your family, your friends, and your mentors as well. And I believe that you know more than anyone that everyone in here are proud of you. So good luck and have a great debate ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Uhing. And today is the grand finale, and I'm very honored to have some special guests with us in the studio tonight. So please welcome Professor Dr. Raymond Gordon, President and Vice Chancellor of British University Vietnam, co-producer of the debaters, Mr. Huyen Vinh Sơn, Vice Director of VTV7, the national educational channel of Vietnam television. And also we have Nguyen Van Minh, CEO and Chairman of Sun Vinh Group. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. Really, really honored. Thank you so much. Also, I'd like to give a big shout out to the mentors who have been helping the contestants through the Debaters Season 2. So please welcome mentor Nguyen Yak Hom, Aljin Sumapong Batia, Bui Lam Jia. So you guys, thank you so much. You know, the contestants here, they could not have done it without you. And also, we have some interesting guests tonight. The champions of Debaters Season 1. We have Team Moji. Yes, give a big round of applause for Team Moji. So again, thank you all for coming tonight. We are all very honored because tonight the audience is huge. The contestants, I'm assuming, are a little bit more nervous because there's so many eyes on them, but it's going to be okay. So again, thank you so much, you guys. Now, the fun begins. We are going to find out who is the champion tonight. Without further ado, please let me welcome the first contestants of round number 1. From the proposition team, the champions, please welcome Nguyễn Diệu An. From the opposition team, Team THX, please welcome Đỗ Lê Thanh Minh. Diệu An, how are you feeling right now?
I'm a little bit nervous. I guess since this is the finale round, I'm really proud of myself and my teammates as well.
You should be. I'm proud of you. Everybody here is proud of you. So again, I'm very happy that you're here and congratulations to making it to the finals. All right, Min, semifinals, you didn't go first, right? So now you're going first.
Because now we're on the opposition again, as we were in the 2 first debates. So now I'm back as the first speaker on my team.
Okay, so for the first round, you guys are familiar with the rules. You have 3 minutes to deliver your speech. POI is not open. Proposition team, you will be going first. Opposition team, you will be going second. All right, let the first round begin.
Let's imagine Zoan at the age of 17. I'm beautiful and perfect, but Zoan at the age of 50 wants to feel the same, right? However, under the society which glorifies youth, 17-year-old me is panicking on how to maintain her beauty forever. A 50-year-old me feels like she's being left behind, and that is Zoan on the opposition side. Before I move on to my argument, I would like to set up the ground for this debate. Glorification is praising something and making it seem more important than it actually is, and youth here is when one is young, often between 15 and 24 years old, and they're usually affected by what they see on social media. They're sensitive about their self-image and they want to fit in, and they really care about how others see them. Another stakeholder is the elderly, usually over the age of 60. They're also very self-conscious. They tend to worry about trivial things and they underrate themselves. So what does glorification of youth look like in the current status quo? Glorification of youth exists through many mediums, including social media, celebrities, and many other industries too. And we believe that there are 3 main aspects to the glorification of how it is shown. A, beauty. In terms of appearance is when you're young. People tend to believe that you're most beautiful when you're young, and that is why many commercials use this insight to promote anti-aging products or cosmetics that cover all your flaws. And B, health and experience. At a young age, you'll have better health conditions compared to the elder phase of your life. So the glorification is that you don't experience more things at this age, so you're unable to do this later. And C, spirits of the youth are young and enthusiastic, and glorification shows that this spirit is something that you won't have at a different age. Our stance in this debate is very clear. We regret the world where glorification of youth exists due to its tangible harms to multiple stakeholders. Firstly, we believe that the glorification of youth directly impacts self-image of individuals, because this exact kind of glorification makes people believe that you're most beautiful when you're young. So this affects the mindset of young people. They want to become even more beautiful and to maintain their beauty forever. And besides that, elder people will feel like they have to get back their youthful beauty, fit in with the youth beauty standards, because it is the only kind of pretty. What impacts will this bring? A, there will be many instances of plastic surgery to reverse the aging process. There were 229,000 surgeries from the age of 13 to 19 in 2017. But the issue with this is that in the future there will be a reverse effect, because plastic surgery beauty cannot last forever, so there will be a cycle of regret. B, there will be a lot of Photoshop used to make both youth and elderly look younger, but this is very harmful because they're not living with their true self, which lowers their self-esteem and self-appreciation. And C, even if they do not choose plastic surgery or Photoshop like we mentioned above, people will never accept their own beauty when they get old, because that will make them less likely to enjoy life. And your side may say that people can reverse their age by exercise or healthy ways of life, but since people believe that youth only lasts for a few years, people tend to take shortcuts to maintain their beauty. But most importantly, why is the world a better place without youth glorification? A, there is no beauty standard established on age. So whether people are young or old, they don't have to compare themselves to any standard, but rather accept their own self-image. And B, we cannot deny that on both sides people will get old, but that's just a rule of time and nature. But at least on our side, however, people will be less likely to view elderly as not pretty or too old for the beauty standards. Thank you.
We refuse to live in a world where no input is taken from anyone to another, as the proposition proposes. First of all, some rebuttals. They have talked to us about how glorification of youth creates the beauty standards. However, we see a complete lack of impact here, because it is completely on their self-choice that they are choosing to make themselves as beautiful as possible. In addition, in a society where we have these beauty standards, it is even without the glorification of youth, there are still beauty standards such as the male gaze onto women in European societies, or in any society where beautification has lasted throughout time, even without this glorification of youth or not. And therefore, we do not think that this is consequential on either side of this debate. We think this is irrelevant. In terms of glorification, we think that you've tightened it too much, because you're only discussing the view of glorification on old people and other people that are outside youth. But when we consider the most important stakeholders in this debate are young people, we also see glorification is a narrative that presents youth as the best period of their life. It encourages them to live to their best and make sure that they know that they are most capable of affecting change on both an individual and on a societal level. In this debate, we think that discussing the glorification of youth, we are willing to discuss other stakeholders as well, but considering the most important people, both in the social gaze and both how they see themselves, we think that young people are the most important stakeholders. In addition, there are other groups of people as well as society at large. And therefore, we'll bring you two arguments. On the first part, we think that it creates a positive influence on youth's life, development, and their mentality, and they can also impact social change through the glorification of youth. Onto how different youth is from old age or when they're children. Young youth isn't burdened by prejudices. They're not physically limited, however, they're also emotionally developed, socially and politically aware. The only thing that they lack is a direction and self-belief. They don't have knowledge of their capability and importance of their ground and early development. And so here we're trying to provide for them and try to maximize their capacity. We're making sure that they're using their youth to the fullest and expand and broaden their knowledge as much as possible in positive ways. And we're making sure that they know that they are here to push to further their careers. They're here to progress, they make new experiences, relations, and maximize youth development and ensure their benefits even when they're growing old, and to make sure that they benefit as much as possible, compared to your side where you're telling the youth that this age is not different from any age in their life, that youth does not essentially stand out. And so when they don't have experience, when they don't have that track for themselves, they are the people most likely to act on impulse and act on their own inexperience. And so they'll be more likely to seek experiences that are exotic, that nobody searched, like to drugs or be getting involved in gangs and getting involved in social ills, which are not the aim that we're trying to aim here in terms of social development. And therefore, we think that we are the winner through his first speech.
That was great. I'm excited. I'm trying to look at the judges right now, and all their heads are down, so I have no idea how they're feeling. But An, I know you're nervous going into this. Feeling better right now?
No, because he gave like a really amazing speech.
Yeah, Min's a strong contestant. Min, how was that?
That was tense.
Tense?
There was a lot for me to put out in such a short time, and I had to push out as much as I possibly could, and I even thought I missed something, a lot of things here and there. So.
Yeah, because honestly, for me, extremely entertaining, a great round. And now we have to hear from the judges. I cannot read their faces at all. I don't know if I saw a slight smile from Uing, so Uing, please share us your thoughts.
I think there's going to be a lot of compliments from me. For the prop side, I think it's a very well-established first speech. Your ideas is packed with impact, and I love to hear whenever you generate an idea, you immediately give me what is the impact of that. I do not feel like you have a big jump of idea in this particular case. I think it was nice, and it was quite well done. For the Upside, I think that the strategy that Upside is bringing today is very nice. When you categorize young people to be the characteristic of young people, they are young and they lack of direction, they lack of self-belief and stuff like that. I think those were very, very nice setup for your case. So in terms of setup, I think both debaters today did really well. The factor that will decide who will get my 10 points is that which team bring me better arguments. So when I dive into the argument, right, prop side give me a very simple argument about how people are going to be obsessed with beauty. And I think this idea stands by far. And I think that op side still need to have stronger rebuttals in order to dispute this idea more once and for all. For the op side, I think you brought up the idea about the positive influence, but those was a little bit, unclear for me about. You say about like how non-glorification make people like different, but I do not see like the specific difference in this particular case. And I would say that the illustration on the prop side also takes my heart away. So I think my 10 points in this time will go to the proposition side.
All right. Stuart, you're ready.
I am ready. So starting with the proposition side, it was really, really cleanly set up. It was really clear. You notified very early on who the stakeholders were. You also gave your definition very, very clearly as well. So I think sometimes the impact had a little bit of, for me, it didn't really go too far enough. I'm going to be looking to your team to push those ideas and actually extend that impact a little bit further. For the opposition side, actually, Ming, I really liked your rebuttal there, mentioning the other forms of pressure that people will have, such as the male gaze or other forms in society. Just not having glorification of youth doesn't mean that we don't suffer this pressure. So actually, I thought your rebuttal was pretty strong there. And I do like the idea that you put forward that for change, if you don't glorify youth, then actually it is easier. Also, if you do glorify youth, then it is easier for change to happen. For me, though, I need to understand why pushing something through at the ages of youth, why youth is really the integral of leading to change furthermore. For me, proposition side, I really liked your ideas and I thought they were very clearly put out. But for the opposition side, I think personally your ideas have a little bit more depth to them, and I also really liked your rebuttal. So I'm going to give my 10 points to the opposition side for that first round.
Okay. Hugh, let's hear it.
Now, guys, this is the best first round debate of the entire 2 seasons, not just the first. Now, with the proposition team, I think that is the best case setup that I could have asked for. I think it has enough substance to make sure that which direction your team is going to take. What I think your strategy is putting out now is so different from the opposition team is you are tackling the external perspective of youth, which is about beautification, which is so opposite to the opposition team is about the intrinsic, purpose and mission and career. And that's why it's very hard for me to judge, right? So good job on that one, but just highlight that fact. Eventually, at the second or the third debate, you guys have to put these two together anyway. With the opposition team, I think what I appreciate is you start to characterize the youth that they are aware socially, politically, but the fact here is they're still developing emotionally and they need direction and need purpose in life, right? So I think that is something that the proposition team need to address as well, right? Because they can use that to make sure that, yes, in your case, you focus too much on beauty, right? And with this particular glorification of youth gearing towards social contribution development, they can redirect those people who focus too much on beauty standards, right? So the reason why I give my 10 point to one team is I believe that the argument of that team, as of now, at the first round, covers both group of youth, which is the group that focus on external and the group that focus on internal, and the glorification of youth can redirect both groups. So they cover more groups than the others. And the proposition team, you only focus on one group who focus on the beauty standards. That's why my 10 point in this round go to the opposition team.
Okay, Zuan, you heard the judges. I know you got 10 points. But they are unbelievably impressed. They're saying the best first round of both seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not too convincing.
But I hope my second speaker can do a good job and impress the judges more.
Okay, so the next round, different contestants, but 10 points. Extremely happy judges, and they're smiling right now, so congratulations on that. That has not happened. Min, you got 20 points. I think you're feeling pretty good right now.
Pumped.
Pumped. Okay, before tense, now pumped. I love the change. So contestants, Zuan, Min, thank you so much. Please return back to your seats. Thank you. So to my right, the proposition team, Team the Champions. Currently, they have 10 points. To my left, the opposition team, Team THX. They have 20 points. However, we still have a second round after the break.
So whether people are young or old, they don't have to compare themselves to any standard, but rather accept their own self-image.
It encourages them to live to their best and make sure that they know that they are most capable of affecting change on both an individual and on a societal.
I'm going to be looking to your team to push those ideas and actually extend that impact a little bit further.
Welcome back to the second round of the Debaters Season 2. Without further ado, please let me introduce the contestant. From the proposition team, please welcome Phan Lê Thái An. From the opposition team, Team THX, please welcome Lê Nhật Huy. Okay, you have 4 minutes to deliver your speech. POI is open. Proposition team, you will be going first. Opposition team, you will be going second. Do you guys understand?
Yes.
Perfect. Let the second round begin.
First of all, I would like to provide some point of contention to side opposition's idea. First of all, when you bring us the idea that beauty standard comes to self-choice, we tell you that, oh, of course, beauty comes from self-image and self-perception, right? But you cannot just tell yourself that, oh, you're so beautiful and you're so confident when the vast majority of people have a totally different standard of beauty. Because as humans, we also need others' recognitions as well. And this mindset will totally eliminate the people who fail to meet those beauty standards. In this case, the elder people from the beauty chart, which will make them think that, oh, they are the person who are left out, and it would also change the younger people mindset towards the elder people. And as proposition, we believe that the beauty standard has no limits and no stakeholders should be left behind, and there are no stakeholders that are more important than the other. The second idea, when you bring out the idea how it would encourage young people to live out their best life, we believe that what opposition side trying to do is to get these people to step out of their comfort zone. However, we believe that there are people who want to play the safe game, who want to go slow and deep, so we should totally respect that. But even if in the case there are people who are not showing their full potential at the youth age, we believe that the factor that get these people to step out of their comfort zone in confidence, there are many other methods to ensure the youth confidence. That could be through parental education, or that could be guidance from institutions, instead of some glory fairy tales of some others that's just going to put pressure on them that, oh, you should be successful as soon as possible. Because here's the thing, no thank you, you want to be successful doesn't mean that you will be successful just by trying to be success as soon as possible, because you cannot guarantee your success if you don't have enough experience and knowledge, right? And with the urge to be success as soon as possible and the inability to make the vital decisions due to the lack of maturity, then it would very easily lead to failure, and it would limit their potential to be success in their afterlife when they are mature enough to make their decisions. But moving on to our practicality idea of how it will affect the human experience and health through the you only live once mentality. So it is an undeniable fact that we only live one life and have one youth. So it creates an urgency to try everything, especially while people were still young. So it's a period of time when people still have the health, the passion, the determination, which in other words is a you only live once mentality. So it will affect people awareness to the way that the media depict the youth. Because most of the time, when we think of the youth themed songs, movies, and videos, we would probably think of the message that, oh, you should live it up, you should do crazy things, let's go crazy, see the sun, and you only live once, right? So it's not about, oh, my life is so peaceful, but instead about do risky things that you will never regret for the rest of your lives. So it will depict the ways to appreciate youth through sex and alcohol, through drugs, through spectacularly risky things. So the stereotype is that youth is a period when you all have to enjoy those fun stuff in life. So these young people will eventually have the motivation to meet with the inappropriate criteria of that stereotype, because they, number one, they would want to impress others. That no one wants to be referred to as a very boring person, right? That's peer pressure. But also they would pressurize themselves to have fun, which is not actually a way to enjoy their youth. So instead of fighting their own enjoyment, they would run to a trend, and that had already happened, because you can see that nowadays there are a lot of young people who try vapes, who try pods just because other friends of them are doing so. So what are the impacts of this? They're going to lose their own value because they're running something that society creates instead of just being themselves. So they don't know who they are and what they want. It's very easy for them to just lose track at the later part of their life. And the consequence of this, they are going to be very regrettable when they're old. Because A, if they have experienced all of those spectacular things, then they would be regrets for losing themselves, for falling for these toxic stereotypes that would also result in their physical and mental health. But B, even if they haven't experienced all those sides, all those things on your side of the house, and they would still be regret for not living the youth fully, because so it will be harmful for not only the young people but also the elder people, as they have to live a regrettable life no matter what. Meanwhile, we believe that people will be able to discover their own way to enjoy their youth without running over the criteria and without the glorification of youth. With that reasons, we are more than proud to propose.
First of all, we believe that for the problem that the appearance of the elder matters, we believe that as long as they are happy in order to have those cosmetic or appearance change in that context of uplifting the youth of appearance, if they are happy, we think that it is fine for them and nothing to be a problem. Second thing, you said that in the case where the youth will fail in the future, three things. First of all, we believe that if they fail in their youth, it is a bounce back for them, because at least in our world, we provide them a way that we just need to improve our youth better, like giving them more tracks in order to follow. And secondly, it is the goal of the government is to raise awareness for the young people, because maybe that the youth would fail any of the concrete idea, but the government has succeeded in creating a proactive generation for the future. Moreover, your arguments were basically on two things. First of all, because you only live once, that then you would need to live crazily. But in our world, we set up a role model for them. We do not ban them, but we just show them a role model so that they can consider all of their actions in order for them to not regret in the future. Secondly, even if they lose track and regret in our world, we believe that we still give them like a role model so that when they become older, they can follow the glorification of youth, no thank you. In order, we encourage them to engage with the young people in order to help them not doing the mistakes again. Coming to our second point, we believe that the glorification of youth positively impacts the change by having strengthened many social movements. Firstly, it makes the society think that the youth should be regarded as the individuals who take the lead of the future of the nation. So it is important because the issues were born in their time and directly affected them. So therefore, they have the determinant to fight for those issues, which means that there will be more involvement in numbers and more intensive influence in social movement. In our world, take the example of Black Lives Matter movement, which create a huge impact on citizens globally. The effectiveness of this campaign can be explained by the fact that most of the demonstrators were university students. So we believe that without the glorification of the youth, social movement could have been poor in numbers and not as powerful and effective. This is because in the proposition world, they underestimate the ability of the youth by the fact that they were less experienced than the elderly, and their ideas and participations in movement will be considered as impulsive, and the movements become less effective, lack respect and get disregarded. So compared to our world, where the glorification of youth means that regardless of the old people's views, the youth is always expected to bring up fresh ideas to meet the portrayal of glorification. This narrative constantly push the young people, no thanks, with pressure to come up with more fresh ideas, and they are progressive ideas that came up with the change with the change in the context of the society. So as they reflect the most recent and urgent issue impacting in the youth experience overall. These are the most impactful and relevant ideas possible compared to the old conservative perspectives of reliability and security in old methods of having caused the issues in the first place. So as a result, we had better and more effective social change. Moreover, when we glorify the youth, we also improve their sense of social responsibility, showing that their generation has a burden to impact changes overall on others. They will have more meaningful discussion and conversation and more motivation to come up with a suggestion and willing to fight for that idea. And as they are less obligated with family and relationships responsibility, they will devote more effort in order to solve the current issue. And without it, we believe that the youth will become less engaged in social activities, and the society will not have a nice image about them. So proud to oppose.
All right, second round is over. Great job, you guys. Now our eyes are drifting towards the judges, and again, writing novels of notes. I think Hugh is already on his third page. But let's start with Hugh. He has a great big smile, so I'm hoping this round went as well as the first round for you.
With the proposition team, I think your rebuttal on the fact that you know that the role of family and educational institute in guiding these youth, providing them with the knowledge and the direction without the glorification need. I think that is a very spot on rebuttal as well. So well done on that one. However, I still haven't found your rebuttal for the strongest argument of the opposition team. And the reason is because in the first round, they have said that the youth is emotionally developing, they're socially and politically aware, they just need a purpose, a direction, and glorification of youth after good narratives can still have a good impact as well. It seems like in your perspective, the whole glorification of youth only carries negative implications. I think that is something you need to address in the third debate as well. With the opposition team, your rebuttal works slightly less effective compared to the proposition team. I understand you trying to pull out the trick of what is real happiness in here, but I need a little bit of elaboration on that one. Otherwise, it's a little bit shaky of the rebuttal as well. I do appreciate, though, when you start to go to your argument, you start to bring it to the social and political movement. I think that is a very smart move. And with the second debate, I want things to develop to other layers as well. And in this particular round, my 10-point go to the opposition team.
All right, thank you, Hugh. Stuart.
So we'll start with the proposition side. Yeah, I liked your rebuttals. I also like the notion that, with beauty standards, it's not just your own choice, but it's also based on other people's recognition of you, and therefore under the notion of glorification, then you're also under the pressure. So it's not just within yourself, it's not internal, but it's actually how society views you, and so that's also important. I get where you're going with the kind of YOLO mentality, and that there are certain things attached with youth that people feel like they must do, and the peer pressure to pursue them. And I do like the fact that you said that, okay, in the opposition's side, they're going to regret if they haven't done them, and then if they're in their youth and they don't do them, they're also going to feel that sense of regret as well, and that's going to lead to a kind of a loss of their own values as well, because they're being guided by this sense of glorification, and they can't actually drive and have the agency over their own future. So I thought that was actually a very strong point, so well done for that. Opposition. Hui. For me, your rebuttals, I get the idea, I get where you're going or where you're trying to attack them from, but for me it fell a little bit short as well. So the notion of, okay, well, if somebody who's older has had plastic surgery, if they are happy, then it's fine. And that it was kind of left there. And so for me it felt a little bit short and a little bit rushed. I want to see where the proposition take their argument, because I think actually within that argument there's a lot of potential, and I want to see actually how they develop that further. So I'm going to give my 10 points actually to the proposition side for this round.
All right. And Uing, with the thumbs up, like?
There are two highlights in this round, and there's one dark side. I think that is where the tipping point happened. So first talk about the highlight. I think in here, the thing that I noticed the most, and I really respect you guys, is the strategy that you were able to, be flexible enough to provide in here. Prop side, you told me that, it's actually glorification is not good. You should have some institution. It will provide you better, guidance than that. I love the idea. I think that was brilliant idea you brought up, because in this debate, if you regret something and you don't bring up an alternative, maybe it's a little bit lacking for your side, and you can foresee it. Upside, you told me that, actually glorification is good because people will have role models, and I think that would really, really, boils down the idea and make me understand what your stance is very, very clear. So strong point on that. My question here is that, where is the comparison between these two? So that will go on to the next person of your team. The second thing that I think is definitely a highlight in here is about the influence from the inside of each team into the individuals as well as society levels as well. So prop side, you show me about how people actually avoid regrets and they will have peer pressure and everything. Upside, you told me about social movement, you told me about responsibility. My question is still the same. Why are these things matters? So I think that you should shift your impact into something more realistic, and there should be some comparison in this particular field as well. So for those two highlights, I think that you guys are standing neck to each other. The tipping point in here for me is the idea, unfortunately, it falls to the idea of beauty or beauty standards. So prop side, they told me that, look, beauty standard, it is set by a mindset of a group of people. And by far, I think that this idea is not the best, explained idea. The foundation is not very strong though, but it stands there. And I think upside today make a small strategic move is that you did not, put a lot of effort into refuting this idea completely with many layers of rebuttal. So that is a very, very small margin, but my 10 points will go to the prop side.
All right, judges, thank you. Hui, you didn't win, but you got 10 points.
Yes.
How are you feeling?
It's my honor to have a debate with her, and also I believe that my teammate can turn this debate into a winning round for us.
Anything can happen. You guys are winning now. It's tied. The third round is going to be very important. All right. I think you're feeling pretty good right now. Now it's tied. So what are some of your thoughts?
Well, actually, I'm pretty worried because the following whip speaker from side opposition is a very strong speaker.
Yes.
So that would put a huge burden on my third speaker at the same time.
Do you think Nam can do it?
Well, yes.
Yes. So you guys, awesome job. Thank you so much. Please return back to your seats. Thank you. So currently right now with the proposition team, the champions, they have 30 points. To my left, the opposition team, Team THX. They also have 30 points. Right now, we are tied. And the third round is going to be extremely important. However, we need to take a short break. See you after the break.
They're going to lose their own value because they're running something that society creates instead of just being themselves, so they don't know who they are and what they want.
When we glorify the youth, we also improve their sense of social responsibility, showing that their generation has a burden to impact changes overall on others.
It seems like, in your perspective, the whole glorification of youth only carries negative implications. I think that is something you need to address in the third debate as well.
Welcome back to the third round of tonight's debate. Currently, right now, we are tied. 30 points for the proposition team and 30 points for the opposition team. And things are going to be interesting in the third round. Without further ado, please let me welcome the contestants. To my right, the proposition team. Please welcome Wang Min Nam. To my left, Team THX, the opposition team. Please welcome Nam Min Khoi. So you guys, congratulations. This is the third round. However, we are tied. Nam Oi, how are you feeling?
I'm doing fine, actually.
But you're tied right now. Do you think you can take it? All 30 points or 20 points?
20 point, yeah, I think I got a good shot.
Okay. Nam is also a phenomenal speaker, but Koi, you feeling okay? Nervous?
Well, we've been in worse positions, so.
Yes. I think the last debate you guys were in a worse position. You were able to still take it away. But gentlemen, the third round of the finals. This is a very, very important round. So I need to explain the rules. Third round, you have 4 minutes to deliver your speech. POI is entirely open. Proposition team, you will be going first. Opposition team, you will be going second. Do you guys understand?
Yep.
All right. I am very excited to see how this is going to go. I know the judges are ready, the audience is ready. So let's do it. Let the third round begin.
I'll split my speech into 3 parts. First, rebuttal. Second, I will extend the arguments that my speakers have made. And thirdly, I will compare and contrast the points that both teams made and figure out which team has the best outcome. First, second speaker of team opposition say that if old people are happy with their cosmetic surgery, then there is no problem and we should not care about that. However, my first speaker, however, explained that no matter how much surgery you have, you cannot obscure biology completely. And thus, they will continue to have a cycle of self-depreciation, because they will continue to feel inadequate compared to younger peers. Secondly, their second speaker raises a point of how government raises awareness and create a foundation for young people to create changes. However, they have not explained on this at all and not tell us why this is the case, and thus we believe that this point is invalid. Next, they say that there are role models for young people to follow that will create major changes in society. However, they haven't identified any of these role models, and in my opinion, reality contradicts this. Finally, the opposition team say that in their case, they will get people out of their comfort zone, show the young peers that they have potentials and create changes in society. However, my team believes that even though the positive of these arguments is correct, there are different ways to reach us. The positive effects of the glorification of youth is not caused by the glorification of youth itself, but by confidence, which is the result of that. And confidence can be created through multiple means, by parenting and by school. Therefore, we believe that in a society without the glorification of youth, these effects can still be reached. Now expanding on my speaker's arguments. First, we believe that my speaker has said the consequences of believing that the youth state of life is the best in a person's life, which will lead to the devaluation of the contribution of the older generation by young people. Old people continue believing that they do not contribute to society as equal as young people, and thus do not believe in it. and thus to not regret the glorification of youth is to admit that the older generation brings less value to society as a whole compared to the youth, and thus disregard their contribution to society. Next, I will expand by going into how this will affect industry. Because of the glorification of youth leads to the belief that the time when you are young is when you are your best, many industries capitalizes on this belief, especially advertising and entertainment industry. Workers in those industries are artificially forced into retirement and becomes jobless due to the demand for young, beautiful workers and the almost non-existent need for middle-aged to senior ones. Singers, models, and actors, their physical beauties make a big difference in whether or not they get a job or a contract. And majority of the time, these workers are forced into retirement after they have passed their prime times, which is 57.7% of all models in the US are in the age of 13 to 16, plus 20% from 16 to about 24. And the same pattern is observed in other entertainment industry. I also believe that this is limiting the potential of those models, because when they are forced into retirement after their prime time, they will continue to believe that they do not have any potential to contribute to society anymore, and thus will lead to a cycle of self-deprecation. Next, which side benefit the young generation and give them a better life, as well as the old generation, and make their life full and happy? On the opposition side, their scenario will see the continuation of the pressure that the glorification of youth causes on young people, pushing them to pursue recklessness in the name of the YOLO mentality. Next, on the opposition side, they will also continue a society where seniors, old people, lose their self-appreciation in a world which believe that your youth is your best time in life and that any other age period is inferior, leading to older generation not being valued and appreciated by the younger generation. On my side of the house, however, we are advocating for a world where people appreciate themselves no matter their age, relieving them of social stereotypes that are negatives and allowing them to live a full, happy life.
Do not throw stones when you live in a glass house. Throughout the 11 minutes of speech, we've seen so many kind of impacts that side proposition has brought forward to us, but we've never seen any kind of exclusivity of those exact benefits. What does a world that do not have the glorification of youth looks like? We do not have this image from the get-go on their side of the house. We say that the two main benefits on their side of the house, beauty and maturity, do not exist as they claim to be. Because first of all, beauty. They claim the fact that glorification of youth create a kind of social attitude towards certain models of beauty, right? But in this sort of scenario, to get the kind of benefits that they want, they have to prove that they can dismantle the concept of beauty in of itself. If you simply just remove the glorification of youth, the concept of beauty just simply shifted. As your second speaker has spoken, the concept of beauty still exists. However, it's just shifted towards, say, more older people. In these sort of scenarios, we believe that there will still be stakeholders being left outside of your benefits. There will still be people feeling inadequate due to a concept of beauty, a definition of beauty still being maintained on their side of the house. And even if that is true, even if it is true that on their side of the house they eliminated the concept of beauty, we believe that we can still get the same benefit on our side of the house, because we have proven to you that on our side of the house we have exclusive social change in which can only get through social movements which already advocates for the kind of, say, no makeup mentality, or the kind of mentality where we believe that, say, all people are beautiful, the kind of mentality that is already pushed by social movements in the status quo. We do not believe why they have explained that we cannot get this in our current side of the house. Before I go on, yes.
Okay, on my side of the house, we have always told you that we recognize your benefits. However, there are different ways to reach it, and in my case, we can reach it without the negative sides in your case.
Okay, sure. We don't exactly see what those kind of negative sides are, though, right? Because we already told you that the harms about beauty are exclusive. So even in your side of the scenario, those kind of harms still exist. We do not really see what the point of this POI was. Social change, for example, is a kind of benefit that only exists on our side of the house that we have spent time elaborating, right? But even if those kind of social changes fail, why do we still take this debate? Because even if it fails, by glorifying the youthfulness of the youth, we've managed to create a future society where where change is welcomed, where change and adaptability towards the kind of new ideas that the youth brought forward is encouraged within society. This means that even if the kind of current social movement fails, there will be bound more to pop up in the future, right? Because like say the free love movement, hippie culture in the United States was the first kind of social movement, and even though it was suppressed, the current status quo means that social movements are still popping up more and more. We do not really see why they solve these sort of issues and bring up the same kind of change. On our side of the house, towards two stakeholders. First of all, the older generations, we turn them into ally of the young social movement, because there exist two parallel narratives, right? Because older people believe that younger people are immature, they don't have enough experience, as exemplified by exactly the proposition case. It means that on our side of the house, we have the kind of narrative that youthfulness should be treasured and youthfulness should be listened to because they are our future, which means that people listen more to this sort of social movement, means that people are willing to adapt and change. And on our side of the house, the kind of risk that they say people will take, we believe that will happen regardless of this glorification, because as they said, young people are immature, right? So in those sort of cases, we believe that the kind of good risk that we are willing to take in this debate, the kind of risk that make young people go into entrepreneurship or say starting new businesses that only exist when we glorify the youth, should only be a benefit that only exists on our side of the house. If you look at the analysis of side opposition regarding, say the fact that people lose track because of society, we believe that societal pressure on people simply will exist. There's still pressure on people to get a house and say have a family by 30s, for example. So those kind of mentality still exist. We provide a respite for the kind of young generations to enjoy their life to the best that they can. So proud to propose.
I think that was a great way to conclude the third debate. But Nam, lots of POIs. You didn't let him ask a question.
Well, I was running on short on time, so that was the main factor.
Do you think that's going to give you an advantage or a disadvantage when it comes to the judges?
I don't know what the judges are thinking right now, so I have no clue. Yeah.
Okay. Nam, thank you. Koi, you did it. You're done?
Yeah.
And I see that you got 2 black thumbs up.
Yeah.
Do you think that's going to help you in the final round?
Last round, my teammate got a thumbs up, but then he loses the round. So, you know, you can never tell.
Are you talking about Hui?
Well, maybe, yeah. Yeah. Well.
We all love you. It's okay. We all love you. Don't worry. Judges. Stuart. Perfect. Thank you so much. Let's start with you, Stuart.
For Mingnam, I liked the fact that in this turn you listened to the judges' responses, and you tried to characterize the stakeholders a little bit more clearly. You talked about industries, you talked about those who are affected within those industries. So yes, we are talking about particular industries, but we're only really talking about industries that are models and other kind of industries which are directly related to beauty. And for me, that felt a little bit constrained to create a strong point that could then go all over society. For the opposition side, Minh Khoi, for your final round, I think actually you came back to really the notion of, or the real core part of this motion, which is regretting. And regretting is you have to compare kind of one world that has it against one world that doesn't. And for me, the constant provision of even if situations, I felt was really, really strong, because you did manage to kind of show the weakness in that even if these are true, actually the impact of the ideas that they're claiming against your side don't actually have that much impact. For me, though, going back to actually the core tenet of the motion, which is this notion of regret, I think the opposition side of Minh Khoi, you managed to actually more convincingly. My 10 points go towards you, okay?
Stuart? Both Ouying and Hugh are just riding away. And Hugh, you're going to hate me because I'm going to have Ouying go next.
So in this particular round, first of all, I'm going to look at the beauty standard. I'm going to see which team explain for me better. And you guys are very, very close in here, because prop side, you told me about the impacts of capitalism, and those are very vivid with numbers about models who actually have to quit their job and everything. I think those are very nice. For op side, you say about problem doesn't change. It just shifts from one stakeholder to another. It's a very, very nice strategy. So that's really nice. Second of all, the idea about social movement. So in the ideas about social movement, prop side told me about their alternative, and I think that is a very, very strong way you put up in the debate. My question for me is that what are those alternatives? And compare for me, please, why your alternative could be equally good or maybe even better than what provided by the glorification of youth brought by the opposition side. For the op side, you told me that even if it failed, then like people still welcome entrepreneurship. I think that's a very strong thing. But I still need one more, like strong, direct, defense for your team about why this is the only possible option, and you just give me a lie there. You didn't give me the explanation. So this is a very, very pity, because if you had given me that, I could have given you the 10 points easily. Now the last thing, which is very, very small, because this is a very close debate, so small details in here matters a lot. I credit Minh for telling me that role models on their side can actually be harmful, can be toxic as well. I didn't hear strong response from the op side. So this is a very close margin, but my 10 point will go to the prop side.
Ooh. This is getting good. And Hugh, I know you hate me with a passion right now, because your 10 points are going to determine the fate going into the final reply speech. So Hugh, please take it away.
I think now I'm going to compare side by side. With the rebuttal, the proposition team choose a strategy where you give up 4 rebuttals that rebut all the minute points that the other team has made. I think neither is super strong and perfect, but all 4 of them really nitpicking at the loophole and the blind spots and the weakness in the argument of the opposition team. On the opposition team, you gave me one super strong rebuttal that throw the entire beauty standards, attack the beauty standards argument. With the argument, I do appreciate the fact that Nam has taken the risk to really push the capitalization and industries, and maybe he doesn't have enough time to give all the list of examples of industry that are affected, but I think the capitalization is a very strong argument. Whereas on the other team, Khoi is bringing up the whole thing about entrepreneurship and how they can fail, and the value of learning to fail while you're young is still a valuable asset for your future growth. So on the expansion of ideas, or however we call it, I think proposition is a little bit above the opposition team on this round. When it comes to the class resolution, and I think this is where it's getting hard for me, Minh Nam reinforced the idea that it's going to be reckless YOLO mentality and the feeling of self-deprecation of the old, and Khoi talking about yet the youth are still immature by nature. So the reckless mentality is still there. I think that is a fine rebuttal at the last minute of that reckless mentality. Rebuttal, I'm easily go to opposition. Argument, I'm easily go to Nam. And I think at this particular time, I give my 10 point to the team, not because they have done well in defending their arguments, but because the other team has not overthrown their argument yet. And that's why my 10 point goes to the opposition team.
Oh, that was intense. Nam, how are you feeling?
Feeling fine.
Fine?
Yeah, fine.
Okay, but we still have the final reply speech. There's still a chance.
Yeah, I believe you can do it.
No pressure.
No pressure.
No pressure. Oh. Okay. Khoi. For a second, I actually thought those 10 points were going to go to the proposition team. I think you thought the same, too. And I see Hui over there. How are you feeling?
It was closer than it needed to be.
Yeah.
And so I think that was down to partly my time management. But I think that Well, I mean, it is the last match of the debaters, so I'm not going to say that I will improve next time, but I will say that it does give me a bit of a perspective on how to improve beyond this show.
Oh, I'm still like, that was intense. That was so intense. But now we have the final reply speech, which I don't know if it'll be as intense, but I think I'll try to draw things on a little bit later to make it even more intense. But gentlemen, thank you so much for such a great round. Please, please return back to your seats. Thank you, you guys. I'm still trying to process everything right now, but currently the proposition team, Team the Champions, has 40 points. The opposition team, Team THX, has 50 points. We still have 15 more points left. However, we will get back to you right after the break.
On the opposition side, their scenario will see the continuation of the pressure that the glorification of youth causes on young people, pushing them to pursue recklessness in the name of the YOLO mentality.
Even if it fails, by glorifying the youthfulness of the youth, we've managed to create a future society where change is welcomed, where change and adaptability towards the kind of new ideas.
So this is a very, very pity, because if you had given me that, like, I could have given you the 10 points easily.
Welcome back to Debaters Season 2. Currently, right now, it is a very close game, only a 10-point difference. The final reply speech will determine the winner of tonight's debate and the whole season, the Debaters Season 2. Contestants, take a deep breath. Audience, this is so intense. Okay. Let me please welcome the contestants for the final reply speech. From the proposition team, Team the Champions, please welcome Fanlei Tai'an. To my left, the opposition team, Team THX, please welcome Dole Tanmin. And the pressure is on right now. I even feel it. Usually I'm kidding around, but it's just insane. How are you doing?
I'm nervous.
Yeah, I'm super
actually
nervous.
Speechless. So, yes, I'm very nervous.
Just take a deep breath. I remember some of the debaters are doing some belly breathing exercises. We won't do that now, but just relax. It's going to be okay. I won't bombard you with questions, though. Min, you need to win just one judge. Do you think you can do it?
It's not going to be the same response as in the second round, but of course, I'm nervous. I think I can win. Obviously I can, but it's a room of nerves.
And Min, this is the final reply round. In this round, you have 2 minutes to deliver your speech. Opposition team, you will be going first. Proposition team, you will be going second. And no POI is allowed. Do you guys understand?
Yes.
And do you also understand the importance of the final reply speech?
Yes.
I'm so nervous right now. Okay. Let the final reply speech begin.
A case of inexclusivity is presented by the proposition today, and it is why we have won this debate by far. Let's first analyze the three main clashes on the stakeholders we presented in this debate. First of all, young people's benefit and development. Both of us have accepted that on both of our sides we have children, we have people fall into social ills and even bad role models. However, you have provided us with no such mechanism for these young people to ever get out of this social ills. However, we have presented to you, even with we have this social responsibility through glorification. We tell them that youth is important, that they need to take care of it, they need to take care of themselves. We think that we've made far more impact in terms of letting them actually get out of social ills, preventing that from ever happening. You've provided no such mechanism. Even with bad role models, we're trying to, even with them existing, they are present in both of our worlds, and at least we give them the social responsibility. We give them the comparison between them and these role models that they need to get out of and get away from. When we consider the old people, Our clashes are mostly on their beauty and self-appreciation and how that works out. However, we've already established this is non-exclusive because people get pressured into beauty care on both sides, and even on our side, even with them lacking appreciation and lacking their self-appreciation and their morality and their morale, we're already providing them with a sort of escape away from that and into the world of young people as well, and making sure that they can content and they can belong to the world instead of being cast away and failing as you provided with no sort of mechanism otherwise. Lastly, in terms of society, it is the biggest stakeholder, it's the largest stakeholder, and you provided us with no such impact. However, we have already demonstrated to you that we can influence social movements, that we can change the world through the knowledge of young people, that glorification of youth, that their time matters, that they are the people with the greatest voices, and that we are the winners of this debate through that.
Throughout this debate, side opposition have made a very huge strategic mistake. When you make a claim without further explanation, especially with the role model ideas, when you fail to specify who this role model is, you fail to deal with the status quo of who these role models actually are nowadays, and you fail to prove why having a role model can actually guarantee young people's success but not the depth growth of people. But now, moving on to comparing our case and seeing who is the winner of today's debate, through answering question, which side actually evolve and benefit more group of stakeholders? On opposition side, you totally fail to protect the elder people. It failed to even include them as a valuable part of the society, as we have already proved to you how the beauty standard will influence the way that young people think about and treat the elder people. And we have already proven to you how plastic surgery will not be the worst thing that happened to them, because even so, they are still doing everything to try to be younger. And also opposition bring up the idea of beauty standards still exist without the glamorization. However, we tell you that this is not true, because in this motion, we're only debating on the age beauty standard, which means our idea still stays stronger than ever. But on your best case scenario, even if you successfully promote the young people to take part in these social movements, we tell you that this idea is also not exclusive idea of your side, and it will also exist on our side, because we believe that the reasons why young people engage into these social movements is because of their knowledge and because they are sincere to help other people. It does not come from the pressure that as young people, you should do the good things. So without the glamorization, we believe that the young people would even be more sincere to actually take part in these movements. But on our side of the house, we successfully eliminate that standard applied on elder people that already exist, and we would focus on the actual and practical growth of the youth through the institutional help and parental guidance that does not exist at all on your side of the house, instead of the blurry role model concept that does not ensure the depth of growth of the youth. And since this is a regret motion, and we, and as proposition, protect more group of stakeholders and bring more practical benefits that had already happened, then proposition definitely take today's debate home. Thank you.
You're done. Officially. No more debates of the Debaters Season 2. You guys are done, so congratulations with that. You know, in this round, we are not going to be hearing from the judges. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, because the judges right now, I think, are extremely anxious, slightly uncomfortable, because it's so tense for them. But you guys, I am very, very thankful for your performance. Phenomenal job. Again, I could not do what you're doing here. So thank you, and thank you. So please return back to your seats. Thank you, guys. Give them a round of applause. So again, proposition team, again, team the champions, team THX, thank you so much. And however, for the viewers, we will get back to you right after the break. Welcome back to the grand finale of Debaters Season 2. Before we announce the final results, I know everybody wants to know, but the dough. I would like to introduce Professor Dr. Raymond Gordon. All right, so Raymond, thank you so much for coming out tonight and showing your support for the contestants. And I know you're a quite experienced debater yourself. So, tonight, reflecting on everything that you saw, what are your thoughts? How are you feeling about this?
Actually, I feel a bit nervous.
Tell me about it. I'm dying right now.
It's very exciting. Tonight's contestants have done wonderfully. But what I would like to say is I had the opportunity to actually engage with all of the participants when they visited BUV, or British University of Vietnam. And I was impressed then.
Yeah.
But this evening, when we look at the talent of these young people, at the risk of glorifying youth, we can all say that Vietnam is in good hands. Really, outstanding, folks. Wonderful.
So Raymond, I gotta ask you, who are you rooting for?
Well,
and you have to pick a team.
Okay, I was going to be diplomatic.
No, not tonight.
But let me say, I'm not necessarily rooting for anybody.
Okay.
I've also been listening to what's been occurring and their skills. And let me first of all say as well, I commend the judges. I think your input has been insightful and enabled us to see more than perhaps our own assessment of what's been occurring with the arguments and the rebuttals. I'd have to say, like the judges, I find it very difficult. But I do think that the young lady, sorry, what your name?
Anne.
Miss Anne's rebuttal in the final round was very strong, and actually addressed many of what the judges saw as weaknesses throughout the rounds, and I think she did very well there. So actually, I'm leaning towards the proposition.
Ooh. Oh. So you're leaning towards the proposition. So if you were to pick the winner of tonight, you'd go with the proposition. I know putting words in your mouth, but
they would have to do very well, and they need to score highly in this. But let's wait and see, shall we?
Yeah. How about the opposition team?
Outstanding.
Yes.
Yeah, really have performed wonderfully, and like I commend you. Like you are both teams. You are outstanding and great ambassadors for Vietnam.
Yeah, thank you so much, Raymond. Really appreciate it. So thank you so much.
VUV is very pleased to be associated with the Debaters Series 2, and I'd like to commend the network as well for producing such a contribution to education, and I'd like to commend the mentors as well. And certainly, once again, I'd like to identify the talent of these young people. Congratulations, you've done very well.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. The show is almost over. We're going to have to wait a minute because I would like to announce some of the awards that the contestants tonight will be winning. The first award we have for the champion, a 2-week study tour at university in the United Kingdom. Also, for the second award, we have the best speakers. You will receive a 30% scholarship at British University, Vietnam. We have Miss Nguyễn Ngọc Tú Uyên.
So in my hands right now is the envelope that contains the name of the best first speakers of the Debater Season 2. And I'm so excited to know who this person is. And the best first speaker of the Season 2, the Debaters, is Đỗ Lê Thành Minh. Congratulations, THX!
The engagement in short watching time and a high dislike ratio is massively negative. That's why they do not appear in trending, and that is why they do not belong in this debate today. In addition, it's creating a win-win situation for both society and creatives, both private and corporate.
So Uyên, Min, thank you so much. Thank you. And Min, again, congratulations. So please welcome Mr. Stuart Utley to the stage.
It's quite tense being up here, isn't it?
Very much.
This award is for the best second speaker, and the award for the best second speaker goes to Đinh Trần Phụng Linh.
Our main goal for education today is actually to train somebody to become the global citizens so that he or she can go anywhere and still adapt into that situation. The only difference between developing country and developed countries nowadays is not actually the amount of workers they have, but otherwise the method and also the quality of these values inside each worker.
And congratulations, Lynn. So thank you, Stuart. And again, congratulations, Lynn. You guys, please return back to your seats. Thank you so much. Please welcome Mr. Wang Jae-hyo.
The best third speaker goes to
Judges, let's take a step back at this debate and look at it strategically. First question, even if the choices that made within choice feminism is coercion as side proposition raised, so what? Side opposition brought to you a case that brought to you the idea that the ideological purity of the feminist movement.
Thank you so much. So Koi, please return back to your seat. Thank you.
The best reply speech speaker goes to Because
the fight against climate change is a connected chain, and you can't drop a single chain of it. You can't just criticize one change and hope they will all change all together. The worst picture on our side will be having constructive policy proposals will push the fight towards the eradication of climate change.
Yeah, congratulations, Zach. And you, thank you so much. And now it's the moment of truth. The team that won the Debaters Season 2. Before we announce the results, teams, please come to the stage. All right, teams, currently right now, Team the Champions, you have 40 points. Team THX, you have 50 points. I will not drag this on, but tonight's winner, with a total of 60 points going to the opposition team. You guys, 45 points. Yeah, congratulations, you guys. Congratulations. And please welcome on the stage Professor Dr. Raymond Gordon, Vice Chancellor in British University of Vietnam, to award the champion of Debaters Season 2. And Huyen Vincent. Congratulations, you guys. And again, congratulations. The Debaters has finally come to an end. Before, please, one more round of applause for both teams tonight. The Debaters were here to encourage English all throughout Vietnam, seeing things from a different perspective, having a debate, being open-minded to an alternative belief, and yet also building friendships and compassion for different things. And you guys, again, thank you so, so much. We're all very proud of you. And I hope family, friends, viewers all over Vietnam. So thank you, and thank you so, so much. And also, I want to give a huge thanks to British University Vietnam. So thank you so much, Raymond. It's been an amazing season, and we'll see you again on The Debaters. Take care and have a good night.